Hey guys, I'm Brogan. Today in this video we're going to unbox, demo, and review the AtomMan G7 Ti gaming mini PC. And here's the box right here, guys. I know what you guys are thinking, that does not look like a box that houses a mini PC. You're damn right it doesn't. This looks like a massive box. We are going to be diving into a gaming mini PC that is borderline mini PC, but still technically classifies as a mini PC. That's how it's advertised anyways. This is going to unlock unlimited potential, I believe, for gaming. This offers a NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 graphics card, which on mini PCs is absolutely unheard of. So I'm definitely excited to try this out with you guys. Now let's dive into some of the other specs associated directly with this mini PC. Again, the AtomMan G7 Ti gaming mini PC here. This offers an Intel i9 149HX processor that's going to deliver 16 cores, 32 threads, and speeds of up to 5.2 gigahertz. We have 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. We have a 1 terabyte SSD installed within, running Windows 11, and this has the ability to be upgraded up to 4 terabytes, which is also really impressive. And once again, we have that NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 graphics card in here that once again is absolutely mind-blowing on a mini PC of any type. So really excited. Let's dive into this. Let's see what this looks like. Let's see how large or small this mini PC is, and we'll take it from there. All right, so here is the actual mini PC itself here. It is pretty sleek. It is pretty thin here. Very lightweight as well. We're going to set it aside before we actually open that up. Want to see what else is included within here. Get all the contents out of the box. Alright, so first off, likely a user manual in this little sleeve here. Alright, so AtomMan, looks like a user manual here. Let's see. Alright, so it just walks through some disclaimers and stuff like that, so not really even a user manual. Right here we have our PC collateral guide. And we have ourselves just a little notice here about the cooling fan within. It looks like everything here. Keep opening these up now. Alright, so looks like we have a stand for our mini PC tower. So rubber base to this down here, so it's non-skid. Barely moves with me pushing this, so it's going to grab the surface very nicely. We've got two long set screws here. We've got our HDMI cable, typical size HDMI cable for mini PCs. Go ahead and open this other box here. Got our power supply cable, two-part power supply cable here. This end goes into that there. We've got ourselves the end that's going to go into our power outlet, and then right here this is going to plug directly into our mini PC. Now let's take a look here. This is a 19-volt output on here. Alright, now let's go ahead and dive into the PC itself here. Let's unwrap this. Alright, so this is it right here. Very sleek design. Love this. Love the nice shine to this. I mean, that is thinner than a laptop. This is incredible. So down here is where it's going to click into the base. We'll go ahead and line that up. And let's see if it clicks in or if we have to do anything special here. It looks like it just sits right in there. Make sure I have it going the right way. I do. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to move the camera back because this thing doesn't even fit in the frame here, it's so tall. Alright guys, here is our mini PC, and again, I'm not sure I classify this as a true mini PC, but I also don't know how to classify it if I'm not classifying it as mini, because it's not your typical desktop PC, it's not your typical gaming PC. While it does kind of embrace attributes of each of these, it's kind of its own thing. It's in its own lane here. So I definitely like the layout and design of this though. It's very sleek as anticipated. It's got a really cool texture to it, really cool color to it. It's only about an inch thick over here too, so still doesn't take up much space. It takes up more area, I suppose. Well, not really, because it's vertical. If it was, you know, something that laid out like this, you know, it's the size of like an old school DVD player. But because it's vertical like this, it really takes up almost no space on your desk. You can put this next to your desk, you can put it on the floor, you can put it behind a monitor even. You just want to make sure that you allow it space to breathe, because we have a lot of ventilation here. This is where your cooling fans are. So you don't want to lay this flat. You don't want to put it right up against the wall, because you want to make sure that, you know, it just has good airflow all around this. There's also some ventilation at the top. There's some ventilation on the back here. I love the stand that it sits into. It's very nicely laid out and balanced. We have the rubber underneath there too that kind of grips onto whatever surface you drop the entire unit onto. But let's take a look at the ports that are offered on here. So front of this, first off, just has the AtomMan logo. We also have the name down here at the bottom. Nothing else on here, nothing on the top other than the ventilation. Right here in the front, we have our power button located right here. We have our cooling fan modes here, so you can actually change your modes based on what you're using the PC for. If you're gaming, there's a mode that is best suited for that. So you can just make it much more efficient and tie directly into what tasks you are doing with your PC. Right below that, we have these little arrow designs here. We also have right here a USB-A port. We have an SD card slot, which for me, as somebody that records on SD cards, I'm constantly editing off of those, importing video files and all types of files actually off of those. So this is something that I personally will use a lot. For the average gamer that's not doing that, you probably wouldn't use it ever, but definitely comes in handy and it doesn't take up much space. Below that, we have our audio jack here. That's where you can bring your headset into the mix. And then we have another USB-A port down here at the bottom. So if we flip this all the way around now, we have some additional ports to address. Up here at the top, we have our power supply connection. Now this is where your 19-volt power supply cable is going to come in. I've got that right here so I can demo that for you guys. Now, what's interesting about this is they've got the power supply going at the highest location on here out of all the ports. I think that's a little bit odd personally, because the higher you have a power supply cable like this, that means that if you were to actually trip over this or snag this on something, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but there's always that risk. Because it connects up high, you have a higher probability of this toppling over, whether going, you know, left to right. I don't think it would go this way. It would take a lot of force to bring it back that way, but it is certainly possible. If they situated everything down low, your probability of flipping this over or knocking it over by tripping over this is much lower. So it's kind of odd that they made it the highest port on here, just because I do think that makes it more of a concern. You just have to be super careful with it. Probably not a huge deal, but it's something that I immediately was drawn to here. Below that, we have a USB 4 Type-C port. We have our HDMI port here. We have another USB-A port. And then we have our Ethernet port here, so you can bring internet directly into this rather than going through Wi-Fi. But it does have Wi-Fi on here as well, which is always very convenient, of course. Honestly, we have everything that we need. I like the fact that we have everything we need here on the front panel as a gamer too. You could bring your headset in, you could bring a external hard drive in, you could bring flash drive in, SD card for me, huge, love all of that. But honestly, with something this tall and with lots of open space on here, I'm kind of surprised they didn't add some more Type-C ports or some more USB-A ports on here, because, I mean, think about it like a Raspberry Pi 4 or 5. That's a small, tiny single board computer, you know, about this size. That's got 4 USB-A ports on here. This one only has 3, and it's what, I don't know, 10 times bigger. Surface area anyways. It seems kind of odd to me that you only have 1 Type-C port and only 3 USB-A ports. So yes, you can certainly bring in splitters and adapters and whatnot, but you know, that doesn't look pretty hanging from, you know, either the front or back panel of your PC. I just think that they probably should have brought some more ports into the mix here. I'm always running out of USB-A ports. I have a keyboard, I have a mouse, I have flash drives, I have external hard drives. I have a lot of things that I connect over. If I'm streaming, I have the camera that connects over that way through either Type-C or USB-A, depending on which cable I bring in. I have my microphone, which is also another connection. So, and then if I'm gaming at the same time, that's even more connections that have to come in, whether I have a wired controller or I choose a USB-A receiver controller. There's just a lot of ports that get taken up by what I do on a daily basis. So I would have to bring in adapters for this particular unit here, but I'm not totally mad at it. I just think that was something that they probably could have thought out a little bit better here in terms of layout of ports and port offerings, but this seems to have amazing performance from what I have seen with those specs. I'm super excited to test out some games on here. Let's get to the fun part. Let's dive into it.
Hamilton 4 contact. those corners. Hallway, clear. Move up. Check those corners. Stairs, clear. Movement right. Tango down. Hallway, clear. Check those corners. Clear left. Move up. Stand by. On my go. Standing by. Jam all clear. Got you covered. Move up. Squad on me. Forward area clear. No tangos inside. Move up. Keep it tight. Guys, right side. I'm on it. Sack up. Ready, sir. Go. Clear left. Move. Movement right. Move up. Forward area clear. Move.
All right, guys, we jumped in here. We tested out this AtomMan mini gaming PC today that as we already established, is not all that mini, but it is a sleek and thin design here. You could still accommodate this on a desk, next to a desk, and under a desk if you wanted to. I don't think you'd have any limitations really bringing this into the mix. When we think about gaming PCs are light years larger than this in every way, shape, and form. Mini PCs, though, are obviously a fraction of the size, but typically your mini PCs, which I review a lot here on the channel, are like 4 inches by 4 inches. They're typically a square. They have port offerings all around them, sometimes on top, depending on the model. They don't vary that much in design typically, but this one does. This is very different in every way. We have an exceptional cooling system here, great airflow throughout the entire unit. So I'm a big fan of that because that definitely, gives us better performance as a result. We have the different modes up here for cooling as well. So we have the gaming mode, which is where I kept everything for the most part today because I was mainly jumping into AAA titles. We have ventilation though throughout this. We have our ports on the front and back. So it still brings in all the elements of a mini PC and a gaming PC, but it breaks it down into this much sleeker, more unique design that I think everybody can, again, place in their homes very easily without having to rearrange things or worry about, space being taken up. That's definitely a major advantage. I love the base to this too, that kind of elevates it so you have airflow on the bottom as well that can get around there. Very secure. We have the 2 set screws that go into the bottom here. So once you lock it into place, honestly, you don't even need the set screws because I didn't put them in immediately, but I did in the end. It's just going to obviously be that extra layer of support to the actual unit. Amazing performance jumping into games. We jumped into mainly AAA titles. In fact, I didn't even bother throwing retro games into the mix here on video. I did test out a bunch of emulators with this. They performed flawlessly. If you're able to jump into AAA games, really demanding titles like that, it can definitely handle Super Mario Brothers for NES. It can definitely handle Virtua Tennis for Dreamcast. So I saw no reason to really highlight that stuff. This plays original Xbox, Xbox 360, PS3, Nintendo Switch, Wii U, all of that. There are some limitations within those emulators, but that has nothing to do with this actual mini gaming PC. Some emulators just are still, advancing themselves forward and have some limitations there, but everything that the emulators would allow to play will definitely play perfectly on this PC. So amazing specs. We went through those specs in the beginning of this video. They're absolutely incredible. We have a great processor here, but what really blew me away is this is the first mini gaming PC that I've ever seen incorporate a NVIDIA graphics card. So we have the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070. You can see the sticker here on the inside, right by my thumb. That's an amazing option for graphics here. I'm a huge fan of NVIDIA. We've seen AMD typically on mini PCs. This because they have, a larger setup here where they can actually incorporate NVIDIA's products into the mix here. We definitely have major advancements and upgrades in the performance. And you saw exactly that with the demos here today. Really an amazing experience. Now let's talk about some of the negatives here, and there's not many, there's only a couple. One of the major setbacks for me was we have all this space here in the front and we have these nice little lights that light up, and that's cool, but I would much rather see these open spaces used for accommodating more ports. We only have 3 USB-A ports and 2 USB Type-C ports on here. We should have a lot more than that. Especially if this is aimed for gaming. Gamers bring in external hard drives, they bring in external SSDs, they bring in controllers, different elements to their gaming experience. We need more than 3 USB-A ports. In the front we only have 2. I love the fact that we have the SD card slot right there. I use SD cards constantly, so that is huge for me. I love that. I wouldn't say get rid of that, but we need a lot more USB-A ports here and at least 2 additional Type-C ports. So we have the top panel here, which has a lot of space right there. Back panel too, we have a little more space, up on the top and bottom here. I think that they would definitely, make this a much better product offering more ports. So I would also say give us another HDMI port here. There's a lot of mini PCs that offer 2 HDMI ports. This seems like a no-brainer. Bring us bring us one more HDMI port as well, so we can easily get multiple displays up and running. We do have the Type-C port that you can get additional displays through, but I think obviously HDMI ports are much more widely used and recognized. In addition to that, one other thing that kind of had me scratching my head is that we have the power supply connection right here at the top. It's literally the top port on here. That's weird to me because typically you'll have your power supplies be at the bottom. Sometimes we've actually seen AtomMan has actually made bases where your power supply gets threaded through the base and actually connects to the underside of your PC, which I also liked. And the reason I'm concerned with it being up here at the top is, just take a look at this. If we have that up here, obviously there's always a risk of you pulling or bumping into your cable, tripping over your cable, and pulling your PC over on its side, knocking it over off of a desk, etc. This happens all the time. If we have it connecting up here and we pull that cable, look at the amount of movement we get. Just slightly. I mean, I can do it with my pinky here. Just moving my pinky, I can rock this thing back and forth. If I do the exact same thing down here at the bottom where, I think the power supply port should be, or power supply connection should be made. If I do the same thing, I'm actually moving my whole arm here. You can see this PC is barely moving. If I really rock it hard, I get a little bit of movement there. But up here, it takes almost nothing to move this back and forth. You can easily knock this whole thing over. And this is an expensive unit. You do not want to do that. So the reason that they put it up there at the top is beyond me. You got to move it down to the bottom. That's a major concern for me. You can be careful, obviously. I will be very careful when I bring this into the mix at my office that I'm putting together right now. I'm going to be moving my entire setup to an actual studio. And this is going to be what I bring in as my main work and gaming PC because I love it that much. But that's one thing that concerns me very much. Price point, very expensive. $1,800 for exactly what you saw here today. Honestly, at first glance I was like, whoa, that is way too much money for this. And then I tested it out, got acquainted with it, saw what the reliability and performance is like on here, saw what the gaming experience is like on here, and I started thinking about it a little bit more. Just looking at that NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070, just looking at that alone, that's a $600 unit. Obviously you can get it at a discount sometimes. We'll say $550. When considering, everything that goes into this, and that's just for the graphics. You start thinking about the processor, you start thinking about the cooling system and all of that, and you start adding everything up, it totally makes sense at $1,800. I'd love to see it at $1,600, I'd love to see it at $1,500. I know you guys are thinking I'd love to see it at $100. Just not possible with all the things that are brought into the mix on this mini gaming PC. So I do think it's a fair price point. It's not rock bottom by any means. I think that they will probably over time bring the price down a little bit more. But if it had more port options, I do think that it would be a much more attractive mini gaming PC at that higher price point. So there's things that they could do to make this better. There's pricing that can be, reeled in slightly to make it better as well, but it really is a phenomenal mini gaming PC that is at the top of my list. I mean, this is my new favorite by a landslide, but it is going to cost a lot more money. So if you have one of these, let me know what your experience has been like with this. My experience was outstanding today. Again, I will be bringing this. You'll see this in videos. You'll see this in the background in future videos as I move into the studio space in the next couple of weeks, because I'm that much of a fan of this. And it takes a lot for me to trade up or to, bring new computers into the mix for me, because I'm not somebody that embraces change at all. But this totally blew me away today. I'm a big fan. Let me know what you guys think from the video demos here, from seeing this and going through everything that you saw in this video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. What are your first impressions? If you're experienced with this, let me know what your experience has been like in the comments of this video. For more information on this product, click the link at the top of your screen as well as in the description of this video. On your way out, please give me a thumbs up on the video, and of course hit subscribe right here on the Chase Brogan YouTube channel. And if you're on Instagram, I just got on Instagram again recently. You can find me on there, Chase Brogan Official. That's going to do it for today. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the time. Appreciate you guys very much. I'll see you on the next video.